Welcome to the Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun.
Check, 1, 2.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Check.
Woo!
Woo!
I took a mental health day today.
Good for you.
I know.
You never do.
But like I told you earlier, it was like I was nervous about my boss approving it, even though I knew he was going to say yes because that's what they're all about where I work.
Right.
But I got up at 5:30. Wasn't feeling the greatest. Just wasn't feeling it. You ever have that? I rarely
you had
have
a
that. I
stressful
usually
day yesterday too.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feeling it when I got up today.
I feel that every day.
And
I don't feel very worky today.
And usually I can work through it. I'm like, I'll just do it. You know,
I know.
I can choose to work from home. So it's not like, I know a lot of people are like, you could sit in your pajamas. Well, I'm not like that. I'll work out, have my coffee, take a shower, get dressed, put my makeup on, and then I'm ready for work. That's just how I do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like old fashioned me or if it's just.
Well, that's how I do it too, but I have to get up and leave the house.
But a lot of people don't do that who work from home. Like I make sure I do that every day. You don't know who you're going to talk to. Sometimes I have to run out to a store. I'm not going to go take a shower, put makeup on when I tell a store I'm going to be there in an hour.
Right.
It wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? So I always want to be ready. So anyways, so I got up at 5:30 and I'm just like, man, I think I'm going to take one. I'm going to take a day. You know, I just wasn't feeling it. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to send the boss a message and let him know. And then I'm going to run 22 miles around Lake Geneva. And then I'll go tanning and then I'll get my coffee. Take a mental day
and then do a bunch
of
stuff.
And then I'll see you and, I'll make dinner for the guys. I did none of that.
That's a true mental day, though.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But I still was like thinking about what I wanted to do and then didn't do it. So now I'm almost kind of like, man, I wish I would have done all that. I tried to take a nap. I was not tired because I slept good last night. It wasn't like I was exhausted from not sleeping.
I went to bed really late last night.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I went to bed after 10.
That's unusual.
And I get up at 3 a.m. So
I zonked out.
Yeah.
I zonked
on the drive
out.
home today. That's why I called you, too. I was like, okay, let's see
if
what's
I
going
stop,
on. You know? Yeah, like I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I'm almost home.
I know I saw you calling and I'm like, oh, she's either canceling or she's already on her way. And so you're already on your way, which was good. It's funny.
I know. It's been a long week this week.
Okay, and I'm also going to say something about your calling. You know how a lot of people make fun, like they see people calling and they're like, nope, what's up, text me. We don't. We answer the phone for each other. No.
Well, we rarely call.
That's true.
So generally it's like either an emergency. Or it's like, oh my God, it's too much to text and I'm driving, so I have to call you.
True. Yeah, you don't want to text and drive, so that's true. And it's usually just quick, like, hey, here's what's going on. I'm going to see you in an hour. Okay, fine, I'm ready. You know, so.
You want some juicy gossip? Yeah. We always got good gossip for each other.
Yeah, we do. We always have to talk about 30 minutes before we start recording, but I think that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So last week, you visited me in Indianapolis.
God. It was so much
That was so fun. I needed that.
That was so
like when I say
needed
it, I really needed it.
Yeah, I needed
like it's
that
one
too.
thing that we meet with our bestie and go out around here, but to see another city that I've never seen before, I can't believe it's so close and I've never been there.
I know. Well, it's not that close. I mean, I was already in Chicago and it still took me 4 hours to get there. When we either go out around here or we go out in Florida. Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I know.
So it's close in that nature, but
that's like our cabin is 5 hours away. Yeah. And I always say I won't go there unless I get at least 4 days up there.
Yes.
And then here I drove 4 hours, stayed the night, and then drove back 5. And I had to make 2 pee stops.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
You didn't pee until we were almost home.
It was emergency.
I couldn't.
And I realized that traffic was coming up. Like all of a sudden I saw the red. I'm like, getting off on Toohey.
Yeah.
Luckily there's a Starbucks right there.
Yeah.
So
I had to pee twice on the way
That's
home.
crazy.
Probably because we drank so much the night before and I was chugging water
Yeah.
in the car.
No, you drank a lot. I hardly drank. What? You're the one that was showing off your big old mug of...
Dude.
What was that called? Was that at Kilroy's?
That was at Kilroy's.
That was a fun place.
That was a
They
good
had all
place.
the Olympics on.
So
they had
because we were there on a Thursday night. On the weekends, they wear kilts there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Not that I would probably want to see all the bartenders because they were male, right?
There's a lot of male. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see them in kilts, but
sometimes it's cool to see dudes in kilts.
What's that one restaurant? My cousin used to work there that they used to wear the kilts. Tilted Kilt.
Tilted Kilt, yeah.
It's not like that.
And then,
it's just Kilroy.
Our bartender down in Florida, when we go to Dahlia's, which is an excellent Mexican restaurant in Florida, in Daytona Beach. You got to go to that location. There's one in Orlando, I think, too. Don't go there. You got
Daytona Beach is better.
Yeah. He... on St. Patrick's Day, he's a Latino guy, and he was walking around in a kilt, and that was good. I saw the video. He looks pretty good in a kilt.
Our last episode, you talked about the Starbucks where you were like, you thought he
oh my God, I saw that guy again today.
Oh yeah, you forgot to tell me what Starbucks. You have to let me know later. Yeah, no. So you come up here to the Starbucks, and then Daytona Beach is where you like to go for his kilt.
Yeah. Yeah. I like dudes in kilts. I'm not ashamed to say it.
That makes me ask all of our retail people, how many people actually have to wear
a unique uniform?
Do
you have to put on a chicken suit?
Yeah. What do you have to do? Like, I know we had to have our shirts, button-down shirts, or the polos. Yeah. Now we don't. We wear business casual.
Yeah.
And so does everyone else around us. They wear business casual.
Yeah.
But, like, I wonder how many people out there have to wear unique uniforms.
Probably just people that work at Medieval Times.
Yes. I'm going there next week.
Are you really?
It's an outing for our team. Yeah.
You guys do the coolest things.
I know.
So jealous.
I know. And you know what I was laughing about? I told them, I said, you guys could probably say, yeah, we're all dressing up. And I would show up like that commercial where the woman shows up with like the medieval and she was like, so what's up? She remembers that dinner party, that commercial. I don't even know what the commercial's for.
I don't know what the commercial's for.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
What
that
movie,
would be me.
What movie was that where she shows up? Legally Blonde?
Yes.
She shows up at the
in a bodysuit. Yeah. That would be me. I'd be showing up next week because I'm gonna be working out of town next week and then flying back in to go to this event.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they could have easily said, yeah, we're all dressing up. I would have packed it and that would have been it.
You'd be wearing it on the plane.
Heck yeah. Going to have my ginormous turkey leg, or what do they have there? Yeah. I've never been there.
You've never been
Everyone
there?
else around me has been there, so they're like kind of excited to go, and I'm like, is there veggie options?
Cool.
They said yes.
Know. I don't know. They gotta have.
I don't know.
I mean, that was like one of me and Johnny's first dates.
And it's in Schaumburg, Illinois, right?
So that was like 17 years ago.
Is it a fun place?
Yeah, it's cool.
And they do like jousting and stuff?
Yeah.
All right, so for anyone that hasn't been there, I'll let you know on the next episode how it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've never been there.
It's
so
fun. Yeah.
Is it kind of like the Renaissance Fair and stuff like that
kind
that
of.
we have around here?
I like it. Yeah, kind of. You know, it's the same era. As the Ren Fair.
Which is what is the era?
Medieval Times.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, wait, isn't that the name?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. So I guess it's like the
1600s. I don't know. We're so wrong every time.
I
go back to listen to it, and I'm doing like research on my phone as I'm listening. Like, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
You're like edit it in. And you're like, that was completely wrong. By the way,
re-recording over it. You can hear me say, that was the 1700s.
You're like, little did they know that day they were completely wrong.
Some of that keep in, because who cares? It's what we thought we were right at the time.
It's funny.
Anyways, back to Indianapolis.
Yes. So, we had so much fun.
So much fun. We went to Kilroy's. They have a ginormous menu
of just drinks.
Yes.
Like, we didn't even look at their food.
It was kind of like a blackboard, right? And so we walked up, we were just like,
blackboards.
We just stood there like, what are we going to get?
What am I going to have? So I got the peach Long Island iced tea.
Yes.
And it came in a mini water pitcher.
It did. You know, the breakfast restaurants that come around and they have the water and then they have the coffee. Yeah, that's exactly what you were drinking. Yeah. It was good. It was good.
As big as my head.
I think it was. We Snapchatted that.
Yeah, and you had a beer and you're like, are you done with your drink yet? I'm like, it's a freaking half a gallon of liquid.
My 4% beer. Yours was like 18%. I'm like, you're drinking, I'll drive. God. Let me call an Uber.
And then we went to dinner.
So
we got there and they weren't ready for us yet. So we got to go to the lounge.
Which was upstairs.
Fancy lounge.
So help me describe this place. So it's St. Elmo Steakhouse, downtown Indianapolis.
It was 1920s.
Yes.
Inside.
Yes, absolutely.
Basically. Maybe like
it almost looked like an old house,
50s.
the way like the bathrooms were and the hallways.
Yes.
And lots of wood.
Lots of wood.
And then we went upstairs to a smaller bar while we were waiting for
fireplace.
Yeah, fireplace.
With stuffed animals.
Yeah. And that's the picture of me by the raccoon.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's a fox.
It's a fox. And he has binoculars. So that was the picture online with that.
My favorite was me trying to read the menu by the firelight.
Oh, I forgot to post that one. I have to post that one. I'm like, this bitch needs glasses, but you truly could not see.
Could not see.
He was like, here's the drink menus. I'm like, did he just put them down on the table? Because I can't see.
Feeling around. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it?
But the atmosphere was very good.
Yeah.
So there were people in shorts that looked like they just got done golfing.
Right.
And then there were people in, like, the one woman had that black or blue.
Elegant.
Yes, elegant, long dress.
Elegant.
Like they were celebrating an anniversary or something. So
everybody that was dressed up was like over 50, and everybody who wasn't was like under 30.
Yeah, right. So we weren't dressed up.
We were in the middle. We
were under 30 and not dressed up. No, we were. Because we're 29.
We were like the middle of the road.
We were. I did not feel overdressed. I did not feel underdressed.
We wore nicer clothes than we normally do.
Yes, correct.
Put my fancy shirt on that day.
You did. You almost wore your really fancy flowery shoes too from your wedding.
But I was like, if we're gonna walk a lot.
Yeah. We ended up not walking too much.
No,
but
we didn't have to because everything was right there.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And then we sit down. And they have tables for two kind of next to each other. So I've never been to a restaurant, like you see it in the movies. I think it was like even called Valentine's Day, where they're sitting across from each other and there's tables next to them, basically right next to them.
Because it's a long booth.
Yeah, it's a long booth.
But
then there's like
table
tiny tables for two.
Yeah.
So you're sitting across from each other. So you could pretty much hear all the other conversations. Yes. So we met
some friends. Especially our drunk loudmouths.
Yeah. You're drunk. I didn't drink, remember? It was just water. And
okay.
And the couple next to us, they were celebrating their 70th birthdays. They shared birthdays.
Yes.
So we were checking out their plates.
Yeah.
And then first we had Scott Hansen.
Yes.
Our waiter.
Yes.
Who was amazing.
He was amazing. And we thought he'd been there for 15 years.
So they're on their menu, it says who's celebrating their milestone anniversaries, 30 years, 25 years. Right. Wasn't there one for 40 years too?
Yes, because we have to go back and say this steakhouse has been open since 1902.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're showing the people that have been there forever.
Right.
So Scott walks up. He laughs at me for being a vegetarian.
Oh my God, he called you an asshole.
He did call me an asshole. He's like, we get you assholes in here all the time. We'll figure it out. Oh my gosh, so funny.
You're like, can I have the salad without the bacon dressing? He's like, I guess. Jeez.
I swear he was sweating writing it down. He's like, this is ridiculous. And Scott's not a small guy either, you know.
No, he was very big and tall.
Yeah, so we thought we saw his name on the menu of being there for
15
years.
Yeah.
So he comes over and we're like, hey, is this you? He goes, that's not me. This is only my 6th day. And we're like, yeah, right. Like he was so a pro.
Yeah, he was knowledgeable about the menu.
Oh my gosh. And then we did not believe him at all. He was like, nah, I've been to other steakhouses before. He named a few others. I'd never even heard of them, so it doesn't matter. We were at St. Elmo.
Yeah.
And then we were like, yeah, right, whatever. So we kind of gave him a hard time throughout the night. And he was like, I'm telling you, it's been 6 days. He goes, I will show you my welcome email.
Yeah.
And he opened up his emails on his small little iPhone. And it literally said, welcome to St. Elmo. Yeah, welcome to the team. And it was 6 days ago. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll believe you.
We still didn't believe him.
Yeah, I pretended. So we're eating, we're having a great time, having some drinks, and then you ran to the bathroom real quick, and a manager came over and sat down right next to me, and he goes, hey, can you let me know how Scott's doing?
Yeah.
And I thought Scott set me up.
Yes.
I swear to you. And it wasn't even the alcohol.
Why are you asking?
I go, come on, he's been here for 15 years. He goes, I'm telling you right now, it's like his first week. And I'm like, he set you up to this, didn't he? And I'm looking around for Scott, like, come on. And he's like, no, seriously. And he wrote his name down. He was like, what do you think? I said, he's amazing.
Yeah, he was
I said,
fun.
we are truly enjoying him, and he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's so great to hear.
He had a great sense of humor that
he did.
maybe Some people wouldn't.
He was perfect for us.
But I think he knows how to read a room, too.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
He knows how to react to the way you're reacting. So, yeah.
Yep, I agree.
He was
funny.
Agree. Yeah.
So we were getting done with our meal. I had like an awesome salad and the saltiest baked potato ever. It was amazing. My ankles were swelling as I was eating it. And then what did you have?
I had a ribeye and mashed potatoes.
And what did you think?
And navy bean soup. Because they serve it every meal, like every dinner comes with either navy bean soup or tomato juice.
Yeah. Was there a third thing or no?
Yeah, I think it was another soup.
Okay. Because like tomato soup maybe or something. There's only 3 things that they serve with their steaks, and we were like, who gets tomato juice with their? Yeah. And sure enough, the table two from us, they were getting them. Yeah. So I don't know what that is. Someone may have to explain that to us. I'm not sure.
I don't
eat steak, so I don't know what would be.
But it's like your first course was tomato soup instead of soup or salad. You get
you either get tomato juice, or the navy beans. And you said the navy bean soup was really good, right? Didn't you send a picture to Grandma?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grandma wanted to know what we were having for dinner, so I kept her updated all night.
And so, so we were kind of like looking at the room. It's a lot of sports. There's a lot of sports pictures. So the owner or whoever must be a sports fan.
It was pure history.
Yes, absolutely.
Car racing, sports.
Yep, you could be loud.
All sorts of stuff.
Except for the lady that was really, really loud with her in-laws.
Oh, my God.
She was like... She was obnoxious. Was very loud. So she left after about 10 minutes, so that was good. But no, not like that. Or she had the voice that carried. Yeah. At first, I thought she was fighting with them.
I know.
Yeah, it was that loud.
She was like pointing at them too, and like
and kind of with the flat hand in the face and like kind of waving. And I'm like, wow, okay. But then they left, and then it was fine. It was nice and quiet. But so really, it takes all kinds, and that's everyone that can go there. And we even called to make sure that there was
no dress code.
A dress code, right? And I couldn't think of what to say. I'm like, so what do we wear to go there? She's like, we don't have a dress code. I'm like, oh, yes, we're good.
She's like, just please wear clothes.
Yeah. No swimsuits and robes, please.
No walking in naked.
We thought about it. No, we didn't.
Thought about it.
So then we're finishing our meal, and we look over to the right, and they have whiskey sours?
Old fashions.
I knew you were going to correct me. Why
can't
I ever freaking think of anything?
Because I was thinking, was it the old people drinking? Oh, no, it was the 4 dudes on the other side.
Who looked like they just got done golfing.
Yeah.
So we saw the drinks come over. They looked really cool. Yeah. They had the round ice cubes.
Yes, big round ice
And so we were like, well, no, you talked me into it. Yeah. We were like, we should try one of those.
Yeah, okay, so in Wisconsin, like, old fashions are a big thing. You know, people drink old fashions in Wisconsin.
I have never tried one, but I need to try one now to compare it to what we had.
I know. So I have always wanted to try them, and I used to bartend, and I've made them, but I've never had one.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, I'm a vodka drinker. I am not a whiskey or brandy drinker.
Yeah.
So we were wondering what kind of
liquor was put in there.
Yes.
Yeah, like what they used.
It was bourbon.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I did the Snapchat of my drinks. What was I going to drink? And I saw, and it was Knob Creek bourbon.
Okay.
What we had.
Yes, we were trying to figure out what it was. Yes. Okay.
Which I don't know why they didn't use the St. Elmo's. St. Elmo's has their own bourbon. Why didn't they use that one in the drink?
I don't know. Knob Creek was fine, but so this is how we ordered
spicy.
It. Okay, wait. Everyone's thinking, what kind of spicy? Jalapeno spicy?
Yeah, no.
But no. So we order what the guys, Scott comes back over and we said, we want 2 of those, but we want them sweet.
Yeah.
Like, please, I don't.
He told us, well, some people order them sweet, some people order them with this or whatever.
Bitters or whatever, right?
Yeah. So we're like, 2 sweet. Which, why did we order 2? Why didn't we get 1 and share it?
Because we wanted to get drunk.
Oh, I didn't think you got drunk.
Oh, I mean, I was adding water to it.
We did add water to it.
So it comes and we're like, all right, cheers. We're going to do it. We're like, whoo, goosebumps. Like.
It made my nipples hard.
Oh my God.
It made the hairs on my legs grow.
Oh my God. It was horrible.
What did you say? You said.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. Anyways. It was the weirdest body feeling that I've ever had drinking this old fashioned.
Now we know why they're
now
we know what they did back in the day.
Oh my God. That's funny. I'm crying.
Okay, I'm crying right now. Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. So we're just like, what?
Yeah.
Trying to figure this out. So we look over at the 4 guys and we're like,
why is it
yours
spicy?
And the one guy's looking at us like, the other 3 ignored us. They're like, these drunks. The one guy looks, he's like, spicy. And we're like, yeah, like there's like nutmeg or something. And he was like, what?
He's like, that does not make sense.
He was like, what do you mean
spice?
Yeah, he was like, I don't understand what you're saying. And so I almost wanted to walk over there and be like, well, can I try yours and compare it to mine?
Right? I know.
So I don't know how we do it, but we're going to have to do some research now around here. We're going to go up to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We have to order an old-fashioned sweet. We have to order them all the same and just see if they make them different.
Right.
Maybe it's the Knob Creek. Maybe it's the different bourbon that they put in. Maybe it's whatever they use for. So
okay, so it was funny because then right after we got back, I saw on TikTok this guy made that huge old-fashioned. So we got to see how it was made.
Yeah.
And it was bourbon. It was bitters. It was orange peel with orange zest.
Yes,
lemon peel with lemon zest, which I don't think we had lemon in ours. I think we only had orange.
We had an orange, yeah.
And then a cherry, Mm-hmm. But I think that was all that was in it. It's straight up bourbon.
And did we decide that it was a cherry?
It was a drunk cherry.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was crazy.
That dude tried saying it was a blueberry. I'm like,
do you know, 2 days later, I was burping the flavor of old fashioned. That's how strong it is.
Sick.
Yeah, that's how strong it was. So I don't know. I don't think we got bad ones. I think we probably got really good ones. Yeah, exactly.
Scott was like, take care of these bitches.
Yeah.
They're tipping good. I can tell.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Absolutely. He was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
I tip for entertainment. He was definitely amazing.
So then after dinner,
we went back. Oh, well.
We went and wandered the streets.
Yeah, did we go back into Kilroy's or did we never stopped anywhere else,
Kilroy's.
right?
No, we went to Diversity.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And then had a beer, but I was so full. I could not finish my beer. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because you like ate food and then you get like a heavy IPA. I don't know how you do that.
I got a Rheingeist. It's like,
you gotta get like a Coors Light or something.
What did you get?
I had Tito's and Red Bull.
Oh, yeah. See, I should have just maybe stayed with vodka. But oh my God, I had half of it. I was done. I was so done.
We met those nice girls. They were out. They were like
very
on vacation.
Nice. They were young like us. Yeah, they were young like us. They were like in their 20s or something. Very pretty. Yeah, they were very nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So then we left there and ordered an Uber. And we decided we were just going to kind of hang out.
Yeah, and kind of like feel the city out and just walk the streets, which I'm so glad we did.
We did.
Because we met an amazing rapper friend that stayed the whole 15 minutes, whatever you were saying, with the same beat. Oh and you would point someone out like the girl that was walking past with the sunflower shirt. And you were like, hey, sunflowers. He was like, in a sunflower shirt. And he was like, somehow he would rap it. That was fun entertainment.
And I told him, seriously, dude, you've been playing that same beat for like 6 minutes.
He's like, I changed it.
And then he was like, it's been exactly 6 minutes. How did you know that?
So then the
we
bouncers
didn't even bring any stickers.
No, we didn't.
What the hell?
I know. The bouncers at Kilroy's, you were Jenny from the block.
Yeah.
And they were laughing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like pretty big guys. They were checking everybody.
They were fun.
We were standing there and we started talking about like violence in Chicago or like some bad things that are happening.
We were from,
yeah.
So,
he was like, oh, it's bad there. Or they said something about it's bad there.
Yeah.
Wait, no, there's nice streets. I said, it's kind of like this. He goes, not here. He goes and looks up at the building. He was like, last week they shot up this building like 30 shots. And he's looking at the building. I'm like, where's our Uber?
But they didn't hit anybody.
Yeah, as he's looking at the building. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Get me out of the street. But I didn't feel unsafe at all.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
So
there was plenty of people around and stuff.
Well, there was plenty of people around and it wasn't like, it was clean.
Yeah.
Like it was very, very clean.
Yeah.
It's a clean area.
Yeah.
So.
And it was Thursday night, so it wasn't too crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe weekends are worse. I'm not sure in any city. I'm not sure.
Crazier.
But yeah, you kind of freaked me out a little bit. But then our Uber came.
We didn't get home until like 12:30 at night. Yeah, and then we stayed up until almost 3,
chatting,
drinking claws.
Yep.
Watching the Olympics.
It was weird that I wasn't even tired. I think it was the old fashioned. So I think I'm gonna try that again when we go out and I'm getting a little tired at like 10 o'clock. I'll drink that.
You'll get a spicy drink.
Yeah, I'll get a spicy nutmeg old fashioned. That was crazy. What was it?
Pancake?
Gold Coffee Pancake House.
I thought you were going to be like cold coffee, and I was going to be like pancake. Gold Pancake? Gold Coffee Pancake House.
Well, they were very nice.
It was good, yeah.
And they were the ones that had the sign that we shared.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that said...
The whole world is short-staffed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be kind to the ones that show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was them.
I think
so
everybody's
very, very
feeling
nice.
that
And good
right
food.
now.
I wish I could have enjoyed it more. I was still burping up old-fashioned.
Oh, my God. Well, we were so hungover, and we knew we had a 5-hour car ride in front of us. I didn't really want to fill up. Have to make a poop stop.
Oh, my gosh. Write it down, Drew. Speaking of Drew, I have a funny story.
Yes.
So I was on my way down to Indianapolis on Wednesday, and Drew called me, and he always makes the time go fast because we always have stuff to talk about. And so I'm telling him that I wanted to make sure my windshield wipers were working because I was gonna hit some rain on the way down.
Yeah.
And he was like, you have to buy the good ones. You know, I spend $20, $30 on mine or whatever. You know, I spend money on the good ones.
Yeah.
I said, me too. I said, but I didn't have enough time this morning to put them all on. So I put the driver's side one on and it's worse than the ones that I had on before. Yeah. So I'm like, and he's like, you got to buy the good ones. I go, I did.
I already know where this is going.
So he's like, you know, teaching me. You have to buy the good ones. I said they were Rain-X. They were $28, and this is for shit. So as we're talking, I keep trying to clean my windshield wiper, and I can't see. So I drive like 2 hours. You know, we were kind of on the phone back and forth. We were like working and talking, working. Then, okay, hold on, I got to call you back, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I stop at the Oasis because I got to use the washroom. And I get out, and I'm looking, and I'm about ready to like kind of flick it. I'm like, maybe I put it on backwards. How? I don't know. And it's yellow.
You're supposed to take that part off.
I totally forgot to take the cover of the windshield, the protector that says remove before using. That was the worst phone call I had to make back to Drew. God. I get in my car, I'm going down the ramp. I'm like, oh my God, I got to call Drew back and tell him this. So he did the same thing. As I was telling him the story, he was like, let me guess.
Oh, my God.
Oh, gosh.
I know. I bought those recently for me and Johnny because we both needed windshield wipers. Yeah. And I was like, I'm getting good ones, you know? And he's like, does this come off? And I'm like, no. And then he like takes it off, and I was like, oh, maybe.
So you learned too. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
At least I learned before you put it on.
I almost wish I didn't have to tell anyone, but I kept complaining about him. I'm like, I can't believe I spent $30 on one windshield wiper and I can't see. It's a good one. Lots of laughing.
It's so funny. I liked on the drive home from Indiana the huge windmill farms.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then what's the bridge? What's the bridge that you were talking about? It's the coal mine bridge, or
I didn't go over that on the way home.
I did.
You did?
You hit it on the way. I didn't.
Yes. It's Calumet City.
Calumet City.
Yes.
So you saw it on the way down. I didn't because I had to go around to visit some stores.
I came straight from Chicago.
And then I got them, and it's really long.
It's scary, right?
I mean, I thought it was kind of cool, but.
So have you ever seen the movie? I know you're going to say no.
No. Have you ever seen the movie Coal Mine in Calumet City? No. Have you ever seen Waiting? No. Have you watched whatever show you just mentioned in my kitchen? No. Do you watch TV? Golden Girls only. So, go ahead though, ask me.
It's nothing but trouble. It has Chevy Chase and Demi Moore, and John Goodman plays like a bunch of roles. Oh wait, is it John Goodman? Yeah, John Goodman is in it. And who's the other guy that was like famous at the same time is shit, I can't remember his name. But anyways, Chevy Chase and Demi Moore are going somewhere. Like they agreed to drive together. They didn't really know each other. And Chevy Chase says, well, I'm going to take this way, you know, it'll get us off the highway, blah, blah, blah. And he was speeding, and John Candy pulls him over. Well, now you got to go see the judge, you know, and they go into, and that's exactly what that bridge reminded me of, was the town that they were in. So now you have to watch that one too.
Yeah. I'll put it on the list. The list
of stuff you'll never watch. It's an older movie, obviously. It's from like, I don't know, probably the early 90s.
I can actually picture it. I have a feeling my dad might have watched it when I was younger or something, because I can picture it. I can picture their characters, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's a hilarious movie. If you need a good movie to watch, guys, check it out.
Yeah.
But that's what it was like driving over that bridge. I was like, what in the fuck? I said, what the fuck 3 times on the way down there. One was that bridge. One was that giant dining room table and chairs. I don't know if you saw that. I didn't notice it on the way back until I already saw the fork. Because it was like I passed a propane tank that had 2 cows on it. Then I passed a propane tank with a fork on it. And then I passed this huge table and chairs. And I believe it's right by the Fairlife milk farm.
Yeah.
Is right there.
They got in trouble a couple years ago. Remember that?
Did they?
They did.
What
they had some
doing?
workers that were beating
up
the...
yeah, but they found out that was like people were sent in there to beat up the cows, and then
either way
they were videotaping it. Like they set them up, basically. And all those people got fired.
Okay.
So that's how you know.
Okay.
I mean, I know your daughter's a vegan, so
I just looked away when I drove past it because I didn't want any part of it. So your fork and your chairs and your 2 cute cows, they're just lies.
I think that table and chairs has been there for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I was telling Grandma about it, and she goes, yeah, there was a farm somewhere. She remembered reading in a magazine. They wouldn't let them build like a big like lean-to in their field for their cows, right? Like the city wouldn't let them do it, or their village, whatever. So there was no law saying you couldn't build a huge table and chairs in your field, and the cows would just like hang out underneath the table and chairs.
Oh, that's cute.
So it was like, well, there's no law saying we can't build a table and chairs, so we're going to build that, and our cows will hang out under that.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder if it was something like ode to that, you know?
Yeah.
But
that's neat.
I think it's been there longer than the Fairlife factory had been there, you know? I call it a factory, but that was my second what the F, and then the third one was the windmills.
Yes.
Because I was like, this is amazing. I
know,
never knew how big they were.
I told someone that I was going down there like, it's so boring. I didn't have a boring drive.
I didn't either.
No.
And there was lots of cops on the way home. I was like,
there's
another one. There's another one. And like, when you're at
your
home,
brakes.
when you're at home driving, you know what you can push.
Yeah.
You know where the cops hide.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're in another state, you're like, oh fuck, am I? And then you got like, am I going too fast? Am I not going fast enough? Should I just stay in the right lane? But why are these people only going 60?
Yeah.
The speed limit's 70. Can I do 80? I don't know,
I was driving home on Friday morning, and there was this little, I don't know that it was a Mazda Miata, but it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And he came up real close to me and started flashing his lights.
Oh, yeah. He's telling you to get over.
Yeah, but there was like 5 or 6 cars in front of me and a car next to me. So I'm like, I'm not moving over because
I don't know where you want me to go.
Yeah. And so then he like was flashing. And at first I thought it was a cop.
Oh.
So, of course you get like that poop sensation. Yeah. Like, darn it, I'm getting pulled over. And then it's this itty bitty little car with this older gentleman in it. I'm like, no, F you. So then he goes all the way over and all the way, and he pissed off a very large truck.
Oh, sure.
And then that truck was on his ass for miles.
Yeah. You don't want to piss off the truckers.
Oh my gosh. And then I think the car finally got off on an exit just to get rid
away.
Of the truck.
Yeah.
You don't mess with farmers.
No.
Sorry,
yeah.
or big trucks.
Yeah.
I don't mess with anybody on those roads.
Me neither.
No way. That's their land.
You'll end up in the back of them.
Yes. And so I know it. I know he flashed his lights at this truck,
buddy,
and that was it.
I can fit that whole car right in the fucking
trailer.
Yeah,
and I could fit your body out in the field and no one will know. So
put you right underneath that table and chairs.
Yeah, exactly. Let the cow shit on you over there. So yeah, I think I finally saw him go off on a exit. He was like, nope. And then just probably waited. So
see,
don't mess with people.
Our Uber, he flashed somebody to let him know they had room to come over.
Yes.
And I was like, I do that to semis all the time.
Yes.
If I see them turn on their turn signal, I'll back off, and then I'll give them a little boop boop with my brights so they know they can get over.
Yep, that you're acknowledging that they're moving over. Yeah. They usually give you like a brakes or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they'll flash their hazards. Boop boop boop.
Yeah. So you mentioned on the way here that you wanted to talk about a customer that we used to have at the other place. Yeah.
God.
I don't think we should name her, but everyone will know her. Mrs. A.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about Mrs. A. Worst customer I have ever met in my life. And there was 2 managers that created this monster. And I know at least one of them listens.
And clicks like on our stuff.
Yeah, I bet both of them do.
I don't know if they created the monster. Yes, I think she was.
They did, but they allowed the monster to continue.
Because she always called corporate.
I don't give a fudge.
She always called corporate.
You know what? I act like I was such a badass, and I was like one of the nicest people to her. She loved me. She gave me a wedding gift.
I saw you shopping with her often.
Oh, God.
I only had to shop with her once, and that was enough for me. Every time I saw her, I ran.
Yeah, which most people did.
Yeah. So right from the beginning, I know the one that listens and clicks like on all our stuff.
Yes.
He wanted to make sure she was happy,
right.
which I understand.
Right.
Someone calls
it's
corporate.
Our job.
It's your store. You know, you want to make this person happy because you don't know the backstory.
Right.
The more I learned about her, the more I realized she is a big pain in the rear.
Yes, she is.
She had a daughter that no longer wanted to talk to her.
Nobody did.
She had family that no longer wanted to talk to her.
Even
she
the
would
church,
always tell you,
Yeah. So she would get a ride back and forth from the store by volunteers at the church, and even they were like, no more.
No more. Yep.
She was, I don't even know. She was just like paying like random neighbors to like take her to the store, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But so it started out, you know, the phone would ring and we had caller IDs on our phone. So you would know and you'd be like, shit.
Yep. You would see her last name, right?
Yeah. Or you would see a call coming from like the store director and you'd be like, shit.
Yep.
You knew what it was, you know?
She's here.
Yeah. She would call and say, I'm going to be there tomorrow, but I need you to shop for half of my stuff right now. So it'd be all of her dry goods, her vitamins, her toilet paper.
I remember people at the front at the service desk.
Yes.
They would have a list and it would be very long. They'd be on the phone with her for a while.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be on the phone with her forever. And like, I would even try to like go around and shop for it while she was talking about it.
Yes.
Because she was very specific about things. Like, you know, okay, if you want Angel Soft bath, you know, toilet paper, like, get the 12-pack. No, she wanted only the 4-pack. You know what I mean? Because she probably had a coupon for it. And she always said she was living on a budget, which she probably was, you know. So, anyways, we would do, like, half of her shopping the day before she came in. We would have to leave it up at the service desk. And then the F&B would accuse us of, like, people taking stuff out or putting stuff in, which actually I think the one person that I used to laugh with all the time that we used to do pranks on people with like the shoe polish on the phone.
Yep.
I think she would throw random shit into her cart.
I think the cart some people would come up there and be like, why is this cart sitting here? And then they would move it over to the returns. So like I remember one time it all got put back.
Yes.
And then we had to shop again.
Yes.
She went up to the service desk and she was like, okay, well I called yesterday and we were like, I don't know where it went. It's because they all put it away.
Yeah.
You guys can't keep things straight.
Yeah.
And then I know I was on a call once because you were probably off.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you would take a day off when she was calling. I remember being on the phone and she kept saying, what is your name? And I would tell her, you know, and she'd be like, all right, so what is your name? And like she would ask over and over and over again to make sure she could use your name when she called corporate or whatever.
Right.
And so I remember writing the whole entire list down, started shopping. I know she said like Motrin, the smallest kind, but in like the exact cap, you know, whatever she wanted. And that's what I picked up. And I remember her telling me, because she didn't know it was Meredith. I talked to Meredith yesterday. I told her the 48.
Yeah.
Bitch, no, you didn't.
Yeah. You told me the 25.
I'm the one that took the phone call. I know. I can read my own handwriting, you know.
I know. She drove me crazy.
Yeah.
So, and she always like
I think she just would do that on purpose, honestly.
Oh, she would.
Yeah.
She'd try to start drama because she wanted start an issue for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So then she'd come in the day of, so then we started like taping her list to the cart and putting like, don't touch Mrs. A's, you know? So that never happened again. So she'd come in, she'd want to look over what you shopped for her in her cart. Then she would want a personal shopper. And I'm like, it is, you know, a Friday afternoon, not happening, you know.
She did get them for a little bit, though.
Every once in a while. If
she
I had somebody,
in the beginning when she was calling corporate, our favorite store director would put a personal shopper with her to make sure she stayed happy. But that person would be miserable by the time they were done shopping with her.
So you know what I would do is I would give her like the worst person, like one of the utility workers or something.
Oh my God. You're the reason why she called.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I'm sure I can pick a few.
The one that never stops talking, you know? And so then she'd be in there for 2 hours.
Yeah, she would spend a lot of time in there.
2 hours after we already did half of her shopping. She only has to shop for cold stuff and produce, basically.
Yeah.
And then she would demand we open a lane for her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be late. My ride's going to be here soon. Blah, 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 blah. Bitch, get in line with everybody else.
She wouldn't.
She wouldn't. She would just go up to a lane and be like, I need somebody to open this lane right now. Are you freaking kidding me? The audacity of the privilege she thought she deserved. I don't know, you know. But of course, we would take care of her.
And she wasn't nice. No. Like, besides just like wanting to get her groceries, she wasn't nice to you.
Right.
You know, like, I remember her telling me one time that it looked like I had gained weight. I'm like, I've never shopped with you before. Oh, my
God. Coming from a lady who was big and couldn't even walk.
Yeah, right. I remember her saying, did you help me last week? Because if so, you look like you've gained a little weight. I'm like, I've never helped you before.
Oh,
and I thought to myself, this is the last time I'm helping. So she just wasn't a nice person all around.
She wasn't.
She was very controlling. Yes. She was rude. And I would like to know her backstory.
Okay, so I know a little bit of her backstory.
Yeah, please tell us.
I dealt with her a lot there, right?
So she probably told you.
She did. And sorry. We took a little break right there. I lost my train of thought.
I look up like, okay, go ahead, we're recording. She was like deer in headlight look.
What were we talking about?
We're keeping everybody in suspense about her background.
Oh, yes.
Mrs. A's background.
Yes. So, after she was done shopping, she would always want me to sit there and wait with her for her damn ride to come. And it was impossible to just walk away from her unless you were just a rude bitch, you know, then it could be like, yep, nope, sorry, don't have time, you know. And I'm just not that way because she kind of reminded me of my great grandma a little bit.
Okay.
So, but anyways, so she told me like her husband was like a pretty bad alcoholic.
Oh.
I'm laughing right now because I laugh in awkward situations.
Yeah.
But like he used to like beat her and stuff. But that's what she told me. And not that I want to say she was a liar about it, but I feel maybe she like embellished some of the details, you know, like, because I feel like if you're that rude she was like at this time almost 80 years old. I just don't see her taking shit when she was younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if she was that.
Like I feel like she would say, oh, yeah, my husband was drunk all the time and used to beat me, which, okay, you know, she was a housewife in what year? You know, the late 60s, early 70s. Very well could have happened, but I feel like she would have kicked some ass.
Yeah.
Like, why is she just letting her husband beat
And let's
up
just make
on
this
her?
clear. We're not victim shaming
no,
here.
Right. You know
it's
what I
because
mean?
we know who she is.
Right.
And can't believe that she would even put up with that.
Right.
Yeah, right,
I can't believe she would allow
like, we get
that,
it. We get that that's, you know, a thing.
Yeah.
But it truly, like, I feel like it would be that she kicked his ass.
I know.
Yeah,
that's what I always
right,
thought.
right.
And I'd always stare at her like, are you kidding me? You
Yeah,
beat
right,
your ass,
right. Of course you want to believe her, but she was very, like, she was a fighter, you know, so.
So I don't know if that's why maybe she was just like, mean to everybody because she hated her life, you know?
Yeah, very
She wasn't happy in her marriage, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like we said, like her kids didn't want anything to do with her.
Yeah, I know she always mentioned how her daughter just never wanted to speak to her.
Right.
And she kept the grandkids away from her and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think I shopped with her once, maybe twice. I did have to be on the phone with her often at the beginning, and then I couldn't deal with her because it was just the same story over and over again.
I know.
I actually felt bad
herself.
for her because she was so miserable that I just couldn't believe someone could be so miserable.
Well, we always say misery loves company.
Yeah, and I don't go for that.
Right.
So I would listen to her and I'd be like, sorry. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. You know, it got to the point where I was just like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of our friends that listen have a lot of stories about her.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I can't believe we hadn't talked about her yet.
I know. You mentioned it, and I was just like, oh, my gosh.
She popped into my head, and I was like, no shit, we haven't talked about Mrs. A yet, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, she was mean.
She was century.
Ugh. And she would be the one that I know she would pull that little mart cart up to the deli and want to be helped right away, even if there were 5 people waiting. But
I'm here now, and I have a scheduled ride. You need to take care of me right now. Yeah.
And then I know because she did it with me, just the 1 or maybe 2 times that I've helped her would talk bad about the person that helped her the other day.
Oh my God, all the time.
And it would be, I don't know if it would be you or someone that worked at the service desk who was always very nice with everyone.
Yes.
You know, and I just know she was lying.
Yeah.
Because these people were always very professional.
She was very dramatic at all times. Yeah.
Yep. I do remember that. I remember the whole thing, how it started.
Yeah.
And I remember her saying that Walmart and I think the Jewel McHenry, she was no longer allowed to shop there.
Wasn't allowed there.
Yeah.
They kicked her out.
And then I think, unfortunately, finally, I think she just couldn't do anything. So then her daughter put her in a home or something.
I don't know. You know what? Okay, so
I know she stopped coming. And
right
I heard
before I moved out to the gas station and I wasn't working inside of the store anymore, there was a guy that literally looked like Santa Claus. And I think it was one of her neighbors or maybe somebody from her church that she would give her shopping list to, and they would come in and do shopping for her.
So she could no longer...
She would still call the store and say, hey, I'm sending so-and-so in to shop for me. Can you grab these things? And when he gets there, he'll come check in, grab the cart, get the cold stuff, whatever, So, and he would come through my line because... even though maybe she did talk shit about me behind my back, she was always nice to me to my face because I always tried to take care of her,
Yeah.
Like I said, she kind of reminded me of my great-grandma. My great-grandma was pretty stubborn and old and, and she was entitled and kind of racist,
Yeah.
But we still love them,
Yeah.
Even though, we tell them, that's not right, it's not nice, but we still love you, your family.
Yeah. I think she may have thought that I didn't want to put up with her crap because she didn't want to deal with me.
And she
a couple times when I would answer the phone, she'd be like, "Who is this?"
Yeah.
And I would say Meredith, and she'd be like, "Can you get me somebody else?
Can I talk to somebody
She
else?
didn't like my hyper spirit or whatever.
Well, you wouldn't let her.
You
talk
must have
shit,
been more patient with her.
I was
sure.
very patient with her.
I just couldn't.
But that's because I dealt with my 94-year-old great grandma forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I remember being up at the service desk and she would call and I'd be the only one at the service desk because someone would be on break and she would want to talk for 45 minutes and I would have to keep putting her on hold or put the phone down to help someone that would come up. Other than that, I'd be standing on the phone for 45 minutes having customers look at me.
You know what?
And she would be so mad that I would put the phone down.
You would have to put it down and not even tell her and then take care of the customer and then come back and be like, oh my God, I totally lost you for a minute.
Oh my gosh. I just do remember her.
Some
she
people
was so
would just
demanding.
hang up on her.
Gosh, so demanding.
And then she'd call back and she'd bitch at the store director, whoever was on duty at the time, and they would just send it back up to the service desk and we'd be like, we're not fucking answering it.
Do you remember?
He will pick it up and hang it up again.
Oh man. Because you would see her name.
I know.
It's really sad, actually. But she truly was not a nice person.
She's like the OG Karen. She is the original Karen. That was the first Karen I had ever met.
Yeah.
So entitled. I deserve everything. I've lived 80 years, whatever. You should just wait on me hand and foot.
Yeah, I remember everything with her. I remember, I keep saying that I shopped with her once or twice, but maybe it was more because I remember one time we had a cart that was already started for her, and I remember putting everything back. She didn't like what anybody bought for her.
Yeah, no.
So it was almost like she'd call and waste your time and then tell you to get all this stuff together. Then you would go, and all she would do was complain about how it wasn't the right stuff, even though it was the right stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
So let's talk about another customer. I don't know if you ever had a shop for him, but he was the blind gentleman. Oh. Do you remember him?
Yes.
You mentioned racist. And
yes.
I know for sure I only shopped with him once.
Yes.
Because he heard someone say something, and I remember he looked over, not really looked over at me, but kind of put his head towards me. He goes, "Is that man black?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "We need to go the other way."
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, he was calling them calling this person a really bad name.
Yeah.
And wouldn't stop. And he was loud. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I sat him on the bench. I go, what else do you need? Because I'm done shopping with you.
Yeah.
I ended it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. That was the last time I saw him walk in. I went the other way every time.
I know. But yeah, no, he was awful. And he's another one that got kicked out of all the stores in town because he would shop with somebody. All the stores were nice enough to be like, here's an associate. Yeah. They'll help you, shop around, whatever. And he would call the store after he got home and be like, you guys ripped me off.
Yep.
I bought a bottle of Jack Daniels and it wasn't in my bag when I got home. Well, I don't know, sir. You ride the pace bus. Did somebody take it from you on the pace bus? Because you left with all your stuff, we would never do that, And he was, like you said, just racist, bigot, blind guy. Yeah, he was terrible.
He really was. He was bad. He
was terrible.
I think I walked the store with him for maybe 30 minutes. He had something to say. I was like, he did not just say that out loud.
Yep.
I walked him right out to the bench. I go, I'm done. I said, you're going to have to find someone else to shop with you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wasn't going to happen.
That's another one. I would send him with the worst. I shouldn't say the worst, but
no. Just
the
someone
worst to me people.
Yeah.
The most annoying person that was on shift.
That's
nice. Who I would send with them.
That's not nice. They should have to put up with that.
I don't care.
Yeah. But maybe emotionally they wouldn't know what he was saying, or they would just ignore him and just make sure they focused on what they were shopping for, for him. But I remember him telling me that he had gotten someone robbed him at the house.
Oh,
or at the apartment.
All the time. All the time it happened, supposedly. All the time.
Yeah. I don't know. Very sad. But
another story.
With the labor shortages now, I wonder how these people are doing. Let's talk about the nicer people.
Yeah.
That need the assistance in the store. I wonder how all the stores are doing that now with this labor. Yeah. You can't just have an associate with them, which is very sad because there are very nice people out there that need the assistance while they're shopping.
Right.
So
I was just talking to one of the Frito-Lay guys, which I think we all know. I mean, I've seen it on national news that an employee died at one of the Frito-Lay
plants.
Yes, thank you. And they went on strike. And I was talking to one of the managers at one of my stores today, and we were talking a little bit. I talked about the general strike coming up and this and that. And I see Frito-Lay walk up, and the manager's kind of giving Frito-Lay a hard time because, I think a lot of us, we try to fix hard times with humor, right? Try to just laugh it off.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you can deal with it. There's nothing you can do. And
it doesn't mean you're avoiding it. You know what's going on, but you just have to look at the brighter side.
The manager's like, are you bringing any product in today? Because these people have been on strike.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh, wow. I'm like, is that place still on strike? And he's like, no, thankfully, everybody's back to work. We're finally getting back to somewhat normal. I go, man, 2020 can just suck a dick.
Yeah, it's true.
And 2021, I'm so fucking over it, this and that. And obviously I did not use those words standing in the grocery store, but they knew what I meant.
Yeah.
And, it's just crazy right now. People are out of their minds, and something like that happens. If I was working in a factory and somebody next to me dropped dead and they said, we'll just keep working, we'll take care of it. Absolutely not.
No.
You know
what
what
was
I
the
mean?
reason? Overheating or
I don't know, so I don't want to say, but
Oh.
you know what I mean? I do believe it was something with exhaustion or what I mean?
Okay.
Because they were working like 7 days a week, like
Gosh.
14-hour days.
Because there's
Like
not enough people.
they literally
or-
had 8 hours from the time they left work until the time they had to be back,
Gosh.
And it's like people can only do that for so long.
Yeah, and then you just get exhausted.
At first, you're like, oh, this is awesome. I'm making all this money. I'm going to pay off all my credit card debt. And then you're like, okay, when is it going to end? And then, like,
it just never
fuck,
ends. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and then you're just ending up being exhausted for a year.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I don't know, which I keep saying, people are bitching about people don't want to work. But you have to remember, 6 million people died last year.
Yeah.
We are short
People.
Mm-hmm. We're not just short workers. We are literally short humans that are of working age.
Yeah.
All those people would be in the workforce right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, yes, they were retired, but you figure probably half, if not more, were between the ages of, I'm going to say 30 and 50.
Yeah.
They'd still be working right now,
Mm-hmm.
So we are literally short people of working age.
Yeah.
And, like, I know your kids go to college.
Mm-hmm.
They're not working full time. I mean, they, Julia does and stuff.
Yeah.
But because she has her own business, because she's just crazy
But
genius,
she's the only one that
right.
works for her.
Right. And
She doesn't have anybody else working at her salon.
I've been working since I was 14. You know what I mean? But I didn't go to school. I dropped out of high school. I never went to college because I made money instead, And which I think it's worked out for me. Don't drop out of kids.
Don't drop out your kids.
Don't drop out of school,
That's what happens. Don't drop out your kids. See what happens when you don't finish school, kids? That was a perfect example of why you need to finish college.
Don't drop out. Don't drop out.
No.
But you know what I mean? It worked out okay for me, but I'm not suggesting anybody do that, So it's nobody wants to work that's under.
You finished school. You just dropped out of high school early. You finished though.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
So,
I did. But yeah, I never went to college or anything. I never. I hated school.
Yeah.
So I could never see myself like being obedient enough to like show up to college. I would just be like, I'm not going today.
So you put your energy into work,
I put it
which
into
you're
work,
very successful
making
now,
money,
so,
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, well, if I'm not going to get a good job, I better get a lot of little jobs.
Yeah, exactly. But that's your mindset, though.
Yeah.
Other people are, you know, I've seen it. Other people are like, oh, poor me. I've had a rough life, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to work. You know what?
Me and you have talked about life, you know,
We
like,
have.
no, I don't know anybody who has had it easy.
Yeah.
There's people out there who have money. That doesn't mean they didn't have a rough life.
Right.
You know,
like, they worked for it.
Yeah. Or they were raised by rich people, but don't tell me that was a good life.
Yeah. I heard a saying when we were in Indianapolis. I heard a saying when we were in Indianapolis. That's a lot to say. Say that over and over again.
I heard a saying when we were in Indianapolis.
When we were in Indy, that they said the harder I work, the more luck I have.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. But you're working for that. So is it really luck or is it because you're working hard?
Well, but, okay, so I always told my nephew, the more people you meet, the more opportunities you'll have.
It's so true.
It's so true. You have to get out there, meet people, make connections. That's how you get to know people, and then one day you're going to run across this person who is starting a small business and they're like, hey, I have this great idea, and you're going to think it's a great idea too. And you're both going to invest. And then next thing you know, you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
And that's capitalism, you know?
Yeah.
That's the real American dream. You know what I mean? Is that you come up with this great idea.
Yeah.
You do it and you make millions of dollars, you know? So
kind of like why we came up with this podcast.
Yeah.
Because we want it to happen.
Did you, has anybody bought us a coffee yet?
Yes.
Oh
Thank you,
God.
Bill. Yes. Yes.
We guys all need to go buy us some coffees.
Yeah, Bill
because
Bill
we're getting
bought us a
tired over
coffee.
here.
And then we have Venmo as well, the Clopen Effect. So yeah.
I didn't even know about Venmo.
Some of those are anonymous, but
we should have put Venmo on our back windows when we were driving to Indy.
Oh, we should have. Maybe people would have just been donating. They'd been like, "This is wonderful. Look at all these air things. These
the windmills.
The windmills. Let's donate to the Clopen Effect because these windmills are so wonderful."
Look at that table and chairs. I think I'm gonna go donate to that
Clopen
Venmo.
Effect. Yeah, that's so funny. We need a big billboard.
Okay, so when me and Erica drove across Florida,
yes,
we decided that their state flower was broken down cars, right?
Oh gosh,
which there was a lot of those in Indiana, but I decided Indiana state flower is ripped up tires.
Yes,
so many ripped up tires.
Now I was tired from our night out on Thursday. Yes. You absolutely had to stay alert driving home on Friday, and it sucked.
There was so
I just wanted to drive and not have to swerve, but you did. Absolutely.
I know. I used Waze, and it kept telling me object and road ahead, and I'm like, fuck, where's the next ripped tire?
Yes.
They were everywhere.
Everywhere.
Semi-tires everywhere. That was crazy.
I have a surprise for you.
Ooh.
I have a quiz for you. Ask me.
Is it going to tell me what Golden Girls I am? Oh my God! It's going to be Blanche. I just know it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm so excited. On a Friday night, you can most likely be found chilling on your couch, out on a date, sleeping, at an event with your friends. Friday nights.
At an event with my friends.
Okay. Number 2. You're most likely to spend your money on chic clothes, amazing food, great experiences, nothing. You save money.
Amazing food.
Amazing food?
I'm not gonna be any of them specifically. I can already tell.
Okay, number 3. You'd most likely date someone who is... Sorry, Johnny. Rich.
Oh, shit.
Funny. Handsome or pretty. Educated.
Wait, say him again.
You'd most likely date someone who is rich, funny.
Funny.
Okay, handsome or pretty or educated.
Can I pick rich and funny?
Only one.
All right, I'll go funny.
Okay. I picked that too. You'd move to a new city you've never been for new work opportunities, a change of scenery, a new relationship, nothing. You'd never move.
A new work opportunity.
Are you serious? Okay, Rose. In your house, you're most likely to have a pet, a plant,
not a plant,
a TV,
yes,
a whip.
Oh my God. Okay, so now I know I'm not going to turn into Blanche. I'm going to say a pet.
A pet.
A pet.
Yeah. Your friends would most likely describe you as
oh shit,
entertaining, witty, weird, mischievous.
Weird.
I would not call you weird. Is that what you want to pick, though? Yes. Okay. I would call you entertaining. In school, your favorite subject was?
None of them.
Okay. None. You hated school. That's one of them.
I hated school.
Let's tell everybody what it is, though. Math, art, history, none. You hated school.
Hated school.
Okay. Lastly, you love to binge on romantic comedies, action films, mystery or horror, none of the above. Romantic comedies, action films, mystery or horror.
Probably romantic comedies.
Romantic comedies. You are Rose.
What?
You're a bit spacey, but filled with so much love.
That is so true.
You usually love to reminisce on times past, though it doesn't always make sense to your friends. You're sweet and lovable, always bringing your friend group together for a good cause.
Oh my God, that is so me.
You are not Blanche.
I am so Rose.
You are Rose. Isn't that great?
Amazing.
I got Rose as well when I did it.
Rose too?
Yeah, and I picked totally different ones.
You weren't B. Arthur? What's her name?
No, I wasn't.
You always say
I think
Maud.
it's the hated school thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So Dorothy, yeah. And
Dorothy.
Yeah. So there you go. You're Rose. Yay!
I'm not Blanche. I'm not the whore you all think I am.
I will. I'll post that link on our Facebook page and Instagram,
and
so
you
people
can all find out.
Yeah, I want to find out
which golden girl you are.
Yes. So very fun. Well, this was great.
Are we done?
We're done.
No.
Yes, we talked a lot about Indy. We talked about Mrs. A. Which I know that a lot of people have customers like that.
Oh God.
Yeah, and you just have to. I'm not going to say, I'm going to say quote unquote put up with them, but we know that she got kicked out of other stores.
That is exactly what we have to do is put up with them.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And you know, our favorite store director, I know he put up with her, but I know other store directors would not have as far as he did.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it was his whole time that he was there.
I feel like other store directors didn't even answer the phone. They just let it go to customer service.
And he would talk to her. I remember him walking through looking at me and he'd be like, yes, Mrs. A. And he would shake his head at me like, oh, I'm going to go back to my office because it's going to be a long one.
And we'd be like, fuck. I'll go start shopping now for her 4-pack of Angel Soft.
Yeah, I remember. Gosh, crazy. We have all had those customers. I don't know if we've all had that customer to the extreme though.
No.
Because then we also had the blind gentleman that was not nice as well.
No.
So I'm very curious.
God, I forgot about that one too.
Yeah, he was. I'm telling you, it was one and done for me.
Yeah.
He started talking bad because he thought he heard. I was like, nope, nope. So
people are dumb.
Please be kind.
But we love people too.
I get it. If you had someone that was not nice to you, or you've just not had the greatest life, or didn't get the greatest deck dealt, we get it. Just be nice to everyone around you that wants to help you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I agree.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yay,
super
guys.
Fun.
Love you guys.
Love you. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. Drums, written and performed by my son, Steven. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.